going on, guys? My name is Zed and welcome to this video. This is last week. And this is the show where basically I talk about and discuss everything that I found interesting in the previous week in pop culture. It's a recap of sorts where I talk about movie news, where I talk about movies I watch, TV shows I watch, and etc. Now, it does look like the majority of folks that watch this series so far have been really into the news. I can tell by my analytics where you guys kind of watch, where you guys kind of drop off, and it seems like the news is the most popular. Now, I'm still planning on doing the Mando discussion and the last week I watched segments, but I'm going to try to focus a little bit more on doing the news, since that's what people are liking to watch, which is fine by me. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So early on in 2020, we got a superhero movie based on the Valiant Comics universe character Bloodshot. And I watched that movie. I actually really enjoyed it, and it was just announced that there is a sequel, Bloodshot 2, in development. Now, Vin Diesel is expected to reprise his role, and I don't know, I'm just excited for more superheroes, universes that I'm not too familiar with, and when it comes to the Valiant characters, I'm really not. So if the production company is going to spend the money to make it, I'll spend the money to go see it. So in some Netflix news, the popular TV show The Umbrella Academy was just greenlit for a third season, set to start production in early February of 2021. Now, I have seen the first season of The Umbrella Academy. I really enjoyed it. I have not dabbled in season 2 yet, though I heard it was overall a really fun and enjoyable season. But again, I love seeing superhero stuff that I'm not too familiar with, so keep them coming. So we finally got a release date for the highly anticipated Venom sequel starring Tom Hardy, titled Venom: Let There Be Carnage. This movie is set to premiere on June 25th, 2021, and I'm really excited. I really enjoyed the first one. I have my popcorn bucket sitting right next to me from it. And it was just, it was a really enjoyable movie. So in last week, we discussed that Warner Brothers asked Johnny Depp to basically leave the role of Grindelwald in the Fantastic Beasts franchise. And while that is unfortunate, and I don't agree with their decision, it looks like they are already having casting rumors that Mads Mikkelsen will be taking on the role of Gellert Grindelwald. Which, honestly, is a fucking great casting. It really, really is. I thought they would go down the route of just bringing back Colin Farrell and saying, you know, whatever, making some Harry Potter nonsense up to make it make sense. But Mads Mikkelsen is a great choice. He's a fantastic actor, and I can see him clear as day playing a great Grindelwald. So, take it as you will. It's probably the best casting that they could do. Now, speaking of Depp's departure in the Fantastic Beasts franchise, a petition has been made to remove and fire Amber Heard from her role as Queen Mara in the upcoming Aquaman 2. Now, this petition, as of now, has reached over 1 million signatures, and I do plan on being one of them. I don't agree with her, or in the role, rather. I feel like if Warner Brothers forced Depp out of the role, they should also force her out of the role. They should force Amber Heard out of the role, because her allegations are far more detrimental to the company. Alright folks, I just wanted to pause the video right there and talk about the allegations that Amber Heard has made against Johnny Depp. Now, both actors have made abuse allegations towards each other, and while Amber Heard's allegations are also being looked into, Johnny Depp's allegations just have way more evidence supporting them. So I suggest you do your own research and form your own opinion. Then all the court proceedings that Depp is going through. So Now, to further that, Amber Heard has come out in response saying that she is excited to start production of Aquaman 2, and that basically calling for her removal is more or less silly and absurd and what have you. I don't personally like her. I liked her in the role, but after all the things that have come out about her, kick her to the curb. So during a recent interview given by Zack Snyder, he talked about a slew of plans he had for his Justice League movies and his DC universe as a whole. And apparently, a detail that he was, conjuring up was that Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle were married and divorced 10 years prior to the events of Batman vs. Superman. Snyder furthered the conversation by saying that Snyder furthered the conversation stating that Carla Gugino was actually his choice for Selina Kyle in his movie universe, and that he was actually planning to reunite Bruce Wayne and Selina during the events of Justice League 3 before Bruce Wayne inevitably sacrifices himself for the greater good. Now, Carla Gugino is actually a casting that fans have been speculating about for a long time. They have said and stated many times in the past that that she would be perfect for Zack Snyder's world, and I agree. I think she would be absolutely fantastic, and I love that little detail. Now, I don't know if this detail will come to fruition. It seems like Carla Gugino is on board, but this could be a part of a further movie if the HBO Snyder Cut works out, maybe a TV show, who knows, but I'm excited. Now, in that same interview, Zack Snyder gave us our first look at my man, the Martian Manhunter. Martian Manhunter is one of my all-time favorite superheroes, definitely in the top 5. I fucking love this character. And though this picture is blurry, and I'm not going to say it really gives too much away, it just has me excited that we are finally going to see a live-action Martian Manhunter. Now, we do see one in the Supergirl TV series, but I'm talking a big screen Martian Manhunter. Now, some fans have tried to restore the image to a better quality, and they say that he has some scarring on his face and what that could mean. Maybe he has had a confrontation with Darkseid, and that's where the blemishes come from. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm just going to wait to fucking see this movie. I'm so excited. The highly anticipated Disney Plus series WandaVision has officially given us a release date of January 15th, 2021. Now, this has kind of upset a few fans and saddened them because it has been stated throughout the entire year that WandaVision is trying its best to premiere this year. People were hoping sometime in October, November, December, and nope, none of those. Were going straight to January. I'm not gonna lie, I'm disappointed. I really kind of got my hopes up for this series, but I'm willing to stick it out. If it's that good, I'm willing to wait. Director David Fincher, famously known for directing movies such as Fight Club, Seven, and The Social Network, has signed a 4-year contract with Netflix. Now, this might sound a little strange because, he is known for big theatrical movies, but if I can remind you, so is Martin Scorsese, and he also made The Irishman for Netflix. I'm fucking stoked for this. I love Fincher movies, and I know I have a friend of mine who is a huge Fincher fan, and I'm sure he's stoked. 4 years, that could mean basically one project, maybe a movie, maybe he's going to help develop a TV show. It's a little bit, the time frame's a little bit too much for 2 movies, but it's Fincher, he could get it done. But I'm excited. I mean, if this partnership works out, we could see even more directors, big directors signing on to do projects with Netflix. Actor Gerard Butler has signed on to return as his character in the Has Fallen franchise in the 4th installment, Night Has Fallen. Now, the previous movies in this franchise, Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and Angel Has Fallen, have all been pretty well received. I know Angel Has Fallen was definitely a smaller release, but I watched the first 2. I really did enjoy them. They're kind of like this mindless action flick of sorts. But as long as they feel that they have more stories to tell and they want to cough up the money, okay, do it. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Now, there are some rumors circulating that DC Comics and Warner Brothers are interested in bringing back Will Smith to reprise his role as Deadshot in either a movie or television show, or both. Now, the Suicide Squad was not my favorite movie. It really wasn't many people's favorite movie. But Will Smith was a highlight. I did enjoy his character. And with some retooling and some better, producers behind the projects, I'm all for it. I say bring him back. Now, to continue the rumors, it looks like DC Comics and HBO Max are looking to produce a spin-off series to their popular Titans TV show, in that of the Red Hood, which is super exciting. I think that this has a lot of potential, especially over at HBO, to be a lot more dark and gritty and badass. Lots of killing. Now, the potential of the show is pushed even further with the mention that the Outlaws could also make appearances in this show. Now, the title of the show is apparently just Red Hood, but I think that Red Hood and the Outlaws could make an even better title. Now, if you don't know who the Outlaws are, basically it is a team in the comics who are a bunch of mercenaries. Obviously, you have Red Hood, but other popular members, Arsenal, Starfire, Artemis, and even Bizarro. Now, we already have Starfire, a part of the Titans universe, and I think with the addition of Arsenal, who is also Speedy, the partner of the Green Arrow, that could be a fucking badass show. So there was this little demonic movie from 2005 starring Keanu Reeves called Constantine. Now, this movie was based off of the popular, semi-popular, semi-unknown, I don't know, character Constantine from DC Comics. Actor Peter Stormare plays Satan, and he has gone onto his social media and has basically announced that they're developing a sequel to this movie. Now, that's insane. Does that mean they're bringing back Keanu Reeves to continue the role as Constantine? I fucking hope so. I've heard from so many sources that Peter Stormare gives probably the best on-screen Satan performance in this movie. It's a movie I have never been able to finish, not because I didn't think it was good, but it genuinely scared me, and I was like, it's a little too late to be watching this movie. I gotta wake up in the morning. So exciting news. I don't know where this kind of fits in with everything, but hell, Keanu Reeves is a fantastic actor, and if they do it right, they could really be onto something here. Since the passing of Chadwick Boseman, there have been a slew of online rumors talking about how they're going to handle his departure in Black Panther 2. One of the biggest rumors is that Marvel Studios was considering using a digital double or a digi-double to basically conclude T'Challa's story in the sequel. Now, the executive vice president of production at Marvel Studios, Victoria Alonso, has come out saying that these rumors are not true. She's basically debunking them, saying that there's no way they're doing it, and this is the actual quote she gave. "There's only one Chadwick, and he's not with us. Our king, unfortunately, has died in real life, not just in fiction." And I'm all for this. I don't think that they should do a digi-double. There's been talks about them kind of recycling footage that Chadwick previously shot for the first installment, and maybe even stuff that he shot for other Avengers movies. Though even that seems a bit, I don't know, I can't really describe my feeling towards Chadwick's departure. It's a really heavy subject, and one that's not going to please everyone. Like, no matter what they do, it's not going to be enough, or it's not going to be right in the minds of fans. So it's just kind of a non-win-win situation. Like, there's nothing they can really do except try to be as gentle as possible with the process. And then next up in Marvel news, Chris Pratt has been announced to reprise his role as Peter Quill's Star-Lord in Thor: Love and Thunder, alongside Natalie Portman, Chris Hemsworth, and directed by Taika Waititi. Now, this is super exciting, and I love that. It was something that is sort of obvious, but it wasn't even on my radar that could be. Not only is Chris Pratt, confirmed, but Vin Diesel has also touched down in Australia where they are shooting, and does that mean Groot could be making an appearance as well? I don't know. I mean, I don't really know why he would need to go to Australia, since usually Sean Gunn does the mocap for Groot, and Vin Diesel just voices it, but I don't know. It's interesting. Now, there are so many characters appearing in Zack Snyder's Justice League cut, but one that was really interesting that was announced was the return of Jared Leto as the Joker. Now, I've always been for him returning in some way or another, giving him a second shot at redemption, and it seems like the Joker will have a new look in this Justice League, which is exciting. Now, I don't think it's going to be a complete overhaul. I just think they're going to maybe take some fan suggestions and maybe take a few tattoos off and add some things. I'm not entirely sure, but I hope we do see some photos coming up here soon. But that's exciting nonetheless. I don't really know what he'll be shooting for that movie, but I'm sure it's going to be hopefully some new Batman Joker scenes. And this one completely threw me off guard. Sylvester Stallone announces on his social media that he will be a part of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. Now, what character could Sly be playing? The first one that came to mind was Wildcat. That would be absolutely perfect for Stallone and just for the movie as a whole. Now, I know you might be thinking to yourself, well, the movie's full of villains. Why would Wildcat be? Doesn't fucking matter. James Gunn will figure it out. But I do think Sylvester Stallone as Wildcat would be a perfect casting, and I don't know. I don't think he's going to be a huge part of the movie. He's not playing a major role. It was definitely a cameo of sorts, but still super exciting.
It's showtime. Bueller. You lose! Good day, sir!
Get ready for the shortest episode yet. This is last week I watched number 39, and without any further ado, let's get into it.
And he began it the same way he always did.
Hello?
So the only movie I watched this week was Stranger Than Fiction, which is about a guy who is seemingly living a fairly normal life. He's kind of, your boring, typical accountant type guy, 9 to 5, doesn't really have much of a life. He's just kind of living day by day, doing his thing. And all of a sudden, his life starts being narrated by this omnipotent voice in his head, and he can hear it, but the voice doesn't know he can. And he starts going nuts. Like, how the fuck am I hearing this voice? Why is nobody else hearing it? How do they know what I'm thinking, what I'm about to do, what I am doing? Like, there's no cameras, there's no microphones. What the hell's happening? And slowly but surely, he realizes that maybe he's a part of a narrative, a story being told about him. That's a very interesting concept, and I really enjoyed this movie. What I will say is, as much as I did enjoy the movie, and the concept was super refreshing and super creative and new and something I've never seen before, the ending sort of fell apart for me. So if you haven't seen the movie, then just know that it's worth you watching. It's definitely a great movie. But if you don't want any spoilers and you just like the sound of the synopsis I just told you, then go ahead, go watch it. But if you have already seen it or you don't really care, basically, the author who writes these books, she always kills her main character. She always kills her hero at the end of each of her books. And Harold Crick is the main character in this book. It's her hero. And basically, Will Ferrell is trying to stop her from killing him because his life is finally becoming good. Like, the story is finally becoming good, and he doesn't want it to end. And following this story, following this guy's life for, 2 weeks or whatever, finally finding love, breaking free of his routine, being more adventurous. I was really liking the character, but there's always this part in the back of my mind that was like, Crick has to die. So I was preparing myself for his death. Like, I didn't want it to happen. I did not want Harold Crick to die. But I knew he had to. And every other character, or the three that knew he had to die, kept on saying, he has to die, he has to die. And then he doesn't. And it kind of fucked up the end of the movie for me. Like, I really wanted him to die, and I'm sure if I watch like a couple breakdowns of the ending, and I would be more okay with it. But from just my viewing, it was a very attentive viewing, because usually I'll pick up my phone every once in a while, check messages, what have you. But this time I was very attentive. I was left a bit disappointed by the ending. I'm not gonna lie, but the rest of the movie and its concept was so rich and so inventive and creative and just so interesting that it kind of makes up for it. But those are just my thoughts. So, yeah. Alright, folks, this is your forewarning for The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 3, Chapter 11, The Harris. I looked it up on Google beforehand, and I forgot how to pronounce it, but now that we have that out of the way, this episode was a lot of fun. A lot more comedy was interjected into this episode, which I liked. It was nice dry humor. And lots of new characters and some returning characters, or I guess returning from the previous episode. But I liked it a lot. Now, there was one character that was introduced into live action, a character that was created in the Star Wars The Clone Wars series, and then also found her way into the Star Wars Rebels series. And I looked up her name before I started this, and I should have wrote it down, but I forgot it. But that's just to say that I'm not too familiar with the character. I've watched Clone Wars, or I guess I've dabbled in Clone Wars. I've watched a bunch of episodes, and I remember that character, but she wasn't, I don't know, I guess she didn't stick with me too much, because when I saw her for the first time, I was like, oh, cool, some new Mandalorians, that's awesome, that's neat, and didn't really understand the significance of her appearance. They were all really cool, and the whole side quest to hijack this Imperial, ship with all these different weapons and such was pretty cool. I love that we got to see the Mandalorian actually get his ass kicked and outsmarted for once, because we might have seen it before, I'm sure we have, but that was such a turn of events when he's on that freighter and Baby Yoda just gets decked into the water pit. That was crazy, and he jumps in, and and he fucking starts drowning, and they're like beating him in the head with sticks. Like, it was such like a really like, what the fuck is happening moment. And then the badass Mandalorian came in and helped out. But I'm looking forward to seeing those characters hopefully return, because I feel like, because I'm not too familiar with them, that there's a bit of a dark twist to them. I don't know, I just had that feeling while watching it, like these guys aren't exactly who we think they might be. I know that the characters are well established, but they had this little dark twist to them. I don't know. But during the episode, one of the major things was the Mando needing to get the child to the Jedi, and the other Mandalorian, I wish I knew her name, but she says, I know where one is. If you help me on this quest, then I'll give you the information. And I immediately thought out loud, oh, Ahsoka Tano. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. And I honestly didn't think they were going to actually reveal the name or anything. I thought it was going to be very much so a reveal when you actually see the character. But I was right in my assumption in that. And I'm just super excited. It seems like maybe in the next episode or two, we might be seeing Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka for the first time. And that's exciting because her character is such a beloved, probably the most beloved Star Wars character to come out of animation, created by Dave Filoni and his wonderful team of character creators and writers and designers and such. So The Mandalorian is just, it seems like this is going to be a really good season so far. It just has been getting better and better. The aesthetic of this episode was very much so like Pirates of the Caribbean. I always say Caribbean, but Pirates of the Caribbean. And I love that. It was such a great aesthetic that, we've seen before, sure, but I don't know. The Mandalorian is like continually giving me like new aesthetics in Star Wars that I haven't seen before, and I love it. Alright folks, I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and next time, I'll be seeing you later. Peace.